show that we've done via Zoom. We had one last Friday at 1 o'clock, and that was our sports cast. I want to put a plug in that tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we're going to do another sportscast one. So after this webinar, I will be emailing everybody that's on it information on what we're talking about today. But you can always email me about how to get on to the sportscast if you have questions and you're not sure, if you haven't seen the information on that. But I want to introduce myself. I'm Melissa Schomburg. Everybody calls me Missy. I've been with Special Olympics for 16 years now. I love this organization, and I am really lucky I get to help coordinate all of our health programming. A few, I guess, housekeeping things before we get started. Jason's going to be letting some people in as they come in through the waiting room here. So I'll go over a few things before we officially start in case we have some people still joining us. Everyone is muted. And if you have questions throughout the presentation, there's a chat box. So feel free to type in there your question. Otherwise, at the end, we can also unmute people and you can ask your question to the group then. Let's see. Oh, I know, this is a big one. We are going to record this. So if you want to see it again, you'll be able to. And that's Jason's cue to hit record.
We're recording.
Awesome. Before I introduce our special guests that are going to do part of the presentation, I just wanted to go over the two main goals today. They're really to demonstrate to you all 4 different stress reduction techniques you can try at home. You can also try it once you're back to your sports practices and competition. They're really good ways to help, tools to help calm you down if you get a little nervous or anxious before you're competing, because I always used to when I competed. The other thing we're going to talk about is a really neat challenge that SOI just put out. It's called the Take 5 Strong Minds Challenge. So at the end, I'll fill you guys all in on that. But now I'd like to turn it over to our 2 clinical directors here at Special Olympics Wisconsin for Strong Minds. We have Kelly and Amy with us today. And Amy is going to tell you a little bit about what Strong Minds is. So hopefully you'll come visit us at a future event once we're all able to be back together again. So Amy, the show's yours.
All right, hi everybody. Like Missy said, I'm one of the clinical directors in Wisconsin for the Strong Minds program. I've been working with Special Olympics as both an intern when I was in school and also as a volunteer the past several years. So I have a feeling I've seen several of you out at tournaments, and I just really think it's super cool that we have this opportunity to connect over Zoom, because I know I'm really missing being able to go to tournaments and see everybody and watch all the competitions. So I'm glad you're all here. I'm just kind of curious, we'll do like a thumbs up. Has anyone done the Strong Minds at a tournament before? Have you gone through Strong Minds at all? I see at least one head nodding. Yeah, there, okay, nice. Yeah, so if you haven't had a chance to go through Strong Minds before, it is an activity that you can participate in at some tournaments where we talk about mental wellness. So just like you guys meet with coaches and you're on a team and you prepare for your sports tournaments, you're training your body to perform at its best. You're putting in a lot of work and you're really striving to make yourself be the best athlete you can be. And we can put some of those same techniques into place when it comes to trying to make our minds be the best that they can be as well. So we can train our minds to handle more situations and to reduce the stress in our lives. And I think one reason why this is super important every day, but also right now, is just that, you know, our lives look a little different right now. We have new stressors in our lives. Our routines might be a little different. We might not be able to go to school like we used to, or to work like we used to. So having some techniques that you can use to cope through those times when life is just harder is just a great thing to have in your back pocket. And I'm a proponent of really practicing these techniques all the time so that you have them ready and you're good and practiced at them so that you can really just pull them really quickly into your mind when more stressful times come around. And I think Kelly's going to talk about this in the first exercise, but stress is very normal. It's something that happens to everybody. It's something that we all experience. So being able to talk about stress and think about the things that make your life a little bit harder or more frustrating are just all things that are super normal for us to want to work on. So I'm super excited that Strong Minds is in Wisconsin so that we can have a chance to connect with you guys and be able to do these activities. I'm very certain that very soon we'll be able to do these activities in person. But for right now, we know that we're doing them over Zoom, and that works just as fine. So we're going to talk about four techniques today. And these are the 4 techniques that are part of the Take 5 challenge. So the challenge is to spend 5 minutes every day working on one of these techniques, and you would start a new technique each week, if I get that right, Missy, as for how that challenge goes. So Kelly's going to start us off with the first 2 techniques, and I'll come back and talk about the second 2.
My cue? My turn? Okay, awesome. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. My name is Kelly, and I've been with Special Olympics and I've gotten more involved in the last year, thanks to Amy and Missy and others welcoming me into the group, which I really appreciate. And so it's been a pleasure meeting with everybody, and I look forward to seeing you all in person as well. So one of the first techniques that I'm going to introduce is using a stress ball. And usually if we were in person, we would hand out stress balls. But the neat part about this activity is you can really do it with any type of object that you have at home, as far as like this. I have a small baby, and so I actually picked some of my baby's toys to kind of help with the demonstration because I wasn't able to find a stress ball necessarily. But I have something here. You can use a towel, really anything that you can. Missy has, you know, a towel or a little stuffed animal, really anything that, a pillow, whatever you have laying around, feel free. And maybe I'll just give a minute if anybody wants to grab something that they see that's maybe just softer, that if you squeezed it, it wouldn't necessarily break. It'd just be something soft that you could practice using and squeezing in a way that'll help release tension. So if you want to take a few seconds, if there's anything around you that you could kind of practice with, feel free to see. And I'm just peeking here if anybody is able to find something near them. But as you're doing that, I'll kind of just start explaining a little bit more about the exercise. So particularly now, kind of in quarantine life, it might be you might be feeling more tense these days. So trying to use a stress ball to help break the tension in your muscles and help you relax is really important. So if you don't have one, like I said, just use something around you. And the thing to know about stress is it impacts how we feel in our bodies. And built up stress can make you feel really tense and unhappy. So this can make it hard to feel calm and relaxed, especially now, maybe when we're not around others as much. It's really important to find ways that you can feel calm and relaxed on your own. So for a lot of us, we have to calm our bodies before we can calm our feelings. And so sometimes we can't make what's causing our stress go away, but we can do things to help ourselves feel better. So the stress ball activity is one. You can use your body to get rid of stressful feelings. So I'm just going to kind of demonstrate. And Don, I like your stuffed animal you got there. Perfect. I'm just going to kind of demonstrate. So whatever object you have, and if you don't have an object right now, like Missy said, just know that this is recorded, so you can always come back and practice the activity later too. But what you're going to want to do, have it be with either objects that you have, is just squeeze the object for 3 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, and then kind of release your grip. And so if you're feeling your body's tense, do it as long as you can to start feeling that relaxation in your hands or in your body. So we'll do it again. So 1, 2, 3, and then release. And sometimes after I release, I'll kind of shake my hands out to just kind of feel, you know, how does that feel in your hands? Hopefully they're starting to feel a little bit more relaxed. if you want to do some shoulder shrugs, whatever, but just starting to feel what it feels like to be more relaxed in your body. And so, and also if you don't have an object, you can also use your fists. So I'll practice those real quick too. And so I'll count us down here. So 1, 2, 3, and then release. And like I said, if you want to shake those out and kind of just see what that feels like, we'll do it again. 1, 2, 3, and kind of shake those out. And so, you know, do this as long as it takes to start feeling that relaxation in your hands and in the rest of your body. If you want to do some, you know, just kind of shoulder shrugs, or if you want to stretch a little bit, but the idea is starting from your hands, kind of starting to calm the rest of your body. And so tense and release exercises can be done with or without the stress ball, and can be done anywhere, which is great. So try it the next time you're feeling nervous, either, you know, before competition, or stressed about anything that's, you know, going on right now. Might be a nice opportunity to try an exercise like this. So I'm not sure, maybe I'll give a couple seconds. If anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, or I guess along the way, Missy, right? If there's any questions, feel free to ask those. But otherwise, I will move on to the second exercise. Does that sound okay, Missy?
Mm-hmm. That's great. Jason, okay. Was there anything in the chat?
No, not that I've seen.
Okay.
Perfect.
We can always come back to if a question comes up later about a certain exercise. And so thanks for practicing those with me. The next one that I'm going to introduce is thinking a good thought, or positive messaging. And so this one is really important, especially right now in quarantine life, because it can be really helpful to come up with positive messages or positive thoughts. Using words of encouragement, positive affirmations can help you bring out the light in your life. And so starting every day by writing down a positive statement and placing it somewhere where you see it all day, or you can come back to it when maybe, you know, you're maybe feeling a little down. You can come back to whatever you've written down, or maybe sometimes I'll tell people, you know, if there's ever something, maybe a friend or a family member, a coach, someone close to you has told you that's felt like a warm hug, that can be really nice to put on a card or a sticky note. Something that feels nice to read back to yourself can be really powerful, especially when you're feeling, you know, just maybe not like yourself, feeling a little off, can be that much more important to have some of these things around the house maybe at this time. Or before competition, having one of these in your gym bag that you can maybe read before competition to kind of help yourself feel a little bit more hopeful or just energized. So one of the, and I drew, if we were in person, we would draw out cards. And so I had myself and my husband do some cards before this here. And like I said, you can do a Post-it note, something you can stick somewhere. Otherwise, a note card or any type of paper will work just fine as well. And so with positive messaging, you can draw pictures. You can write out a specific message. So I'll kind of show you let me see if I can, it looks a little, you know, it's a little backwards, at least it looks this way. But mine says, take it one day at a time. And then I put, for my messaging, I put, you know, a guitar, because I'm trying to practice learning that right now. It makes me happy to try something new. And then the other day, I don't know if anybody else saw, but there was a rainbow in Madison. Mm-hmm. That was pretty awesome. So put that on there, made me feel really good to see that, and is a good reminder as time goes on. And then just a reminder to smile, because sometimes that can just make me feel good. And then on the other side, I put a couple other things here. I put, you got this. So sometimes before competition, I've had other people say that to me, and that's felt nice and warm. And then I put some sneakers. Those are sneakers. And that represents exercise or physical activity to me, that sometimes going for a walk right now feels nice, or just kind of moving the body feels nice. And then I put, this too shall pass. That sometimes makes me feel good right now with some of the things going on. And then I put community. This is kind of community and people that maybe you can think about when, especially right now when maybe you can't see them necessarily in person, but you can kind of, that makes me feel warm to think about family. And those are 2 dogs as well. And then down here, I think I put connecting through technology. That feels good right now, or is positive to me, like we're doing right now. So through Zoom, seeing friends or family, or talking to someone on the phone. Some of those, that's supposed to be a phone. So some of those things being really, really nice. And then my husband made one too. He put walking the dogs, and kind of rain or shine, he said, that he really just enjoys our dogs and kind of being near them. That makes him feel really good and just feels like a positive message these types of days for him. So some examples of different types of cards or ways you can write positive things down that make you feel good, and how important that can be right now to have some of those things to go back to that help you feel a little bit more relaxed, or maybe connected to others in some ways, or just things that you really like to do that you can kind of remind yourself as well. So that's what the 2 I have so far. It looks like there might be a few chat messages. I'm just going to check those quick.
Yeah. I think most of them are positive,
Okay.
saying you're right. That's awesome. Yeah, those are really good tips, Kelly.
Thank you. Thanks for spending time with me today. And yeah, if you have any other thoughts or questions, feel free to keep putting them in the chat. It's nice to read those.
Amy's going to take over with our last 2 techniques. So I'll turn over to you.
All right, so we are next going to focus on deep breathing. So I'm not sure if anyone can think of a time where they were kind of feeling a little stressed out or had some anxiety, but sometimes you notice that your breath can get kind of short, or your heart starts racing, and you can really kind of, I'm really willing my dog to be quiet right now, sorry. But we have the ability to kind of use our breath as a tool to calm down our bodies. So if we're kind of feeling that extra ramp up in our body, we can really focus on our breathing, which is something we do all the time. We're always breathing in and out, but we can really put focus on that, and that's a tool to kind of help relax our body, relax our mind. So one thing I think we can try is just kind of find yourself in a comfortable position. You can either keep your eyes open, you could keep your eyes closed, whatever works for you, but really just focus on taking a big inhale in for a couple seconds and hold, and then release. This is something I really like, this is something I think you could really do, just kind of pause throughout your day, and kind of be able to, like I said, just kind of like calm your body a little bit, calm your mind. One thing I know, when we're in person, we have these pinwheels that spin around where you can kind of see yourself breathing into the pinwheel, and it's turning. I kind of found that it's a little silly, but even if you have just like a little piece of paper or like a Post-it note, like, when you breathe out, you can see it moving. And even that's just a way of focusing on what you're doing and really focusing on the air coming in and out. So if you guys just wanted, why don't you do 2 more big deep breaths? I'm going to put my dog away. I very much apologize. So 2 deep breaths, and I'll be right back. Awesome work. Thanks. I feel like I didn't set this up, but that was just very stressful to me. I know it's not a huge deal, but like the dog's barking in the background, I'm like kind of trying to pay attention. I'm trying to do something else. And even now, just like taking a second and giving yourself time to just take a deep breath, refocus yourself. It can just be a really helpful technique to use. So yeah, that's deep breathing. Hopefully that's something you can kind of add into your daily life. And the last one we're going to work on today is stretching and yoga. So again, you athletes out there probably do a little bit of stretching as part of your practices or before competition, after competition. I like the idea of being able to bring stretching not just around sports, but just as a way to, again, kind of tune in with your body and recognize that stress has an effect on our bodies. Like Kelly was saying with the stress balls, you know, sometimes you can feel it in your body, you can feel your heart racing, you can feel your muscles getting kind of tighter, you might be kind of clenched up a little bit. So being able to add in some stretching or some yoga into your day can just be another way of kind of releasing some of that stress. And so if anyone has access to like a yoga class or anything like that, that's great. Even if you don't, there are some pretty easy stretches you can be doing just at home. I'm even just going to do these just from my chair, just to show you that you don't have to have a lot of space. You don't have to have any equipment. So if you kind of just get yourself going, you know, just getting your arms out in front of you, kind of cross over your arms. Nice. I can tell you guys are all expert stretchers. Get those arms going. I know for me, when I can tell 100% when I'm stressed out, because I can feel it a lot in my neck and my shoulders. So, you know, stretching out your neck, doing some twists, get the shoulders going. Oh, you guys are awesome. Nice job. See lots of different stretches. Do, you know, if you want to find a routine or you want to find kind of a structured stretching, that's certainly a great idea. But also I can see you guys all, you kind of do what you feel you need to, you know, you're feeling you're kind of tight. You might decide to do some, you know, touching your toes or kind of stretching all the way up. There's lots of different options that you can work on. And again, I think that stretching and yoga is a way to kind of keep your mind focused on what you're doing and really give you that chance to release the tension that's in your body.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing those tips, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to move on, and we're pretty close to the end of our time together here, but I did want to talk about one last exciting thing. You guys just learned the 4 techniques that you need to do this Take 5 challenge that SOI has put out to everyone, not just athletes. I'm signed up for it, so coaches, family members, Amy and Kelly, we can all sign up for it. I am going to, instead of talk about it myself, I'm going to have, I think his name's Justin, share with you, an athlete from Maryland. I'm going to have him tell you about it.
Hello, my name is Justin from Special Olympics Maryland. As athletes, we know how important it is to take care of our bodies, but it is just as important to take care of our minds. That is why I am very excited to tell you about the 30-day Take 5 for Strong Minds Challenge that is happening from April 20th to May 19th. Stress is a normal part of our lives, and it is not always a bad thing, but when there's too much stress, we can end up feeling sad or anxious or get stomach aches, headaches, or have trouble eating or sleeping. That is why it is important to learn healthy ways to cope with your stress and calm our minds. The goal for the 30-day Take 5 for Strong Minds Challenge is to help Special Olympics athletes to learn ways to cope with stress by practicing different strong minds strategies for 5 minutes every day. Each week, I'm going to show you how to do one of the Strong Minds strategies. Then I'm going to challenge you to try that same strategy for 5 minutes every day. Some of you may not like the strategies we suggest, and that is okay. You can try some of our other tips for keeping a strong mind. Connect with others, text, call, or video chat friends, teammates, coaches, and family. Try to get 8 hours of sleep, specifically by avoiding caffeine and technology before bed. Eating healthy foods. Fill your plate with fruit, vegetables, lean protein, or beans and whole grains. Ask for help. Contact your medical provider if you feel overwhelmed. Participants will receive a weekly newsletter that includes a tracker for you to use to keep track of your progress and some tips for success. Don't forget to share how you are doing on social media too, using the hashtag Take5 for a Strong Mind. I'll put the link to the website with all the information in the comments below. This link has the registration form and the trackers. I look forward to doing the Take 5 for Strong Minds challenge with you. Be so healthy.
Awesome. Thank you, Justin, for that message. So as he said, the Strong Minds Challenge it started this week. It's still fine to sign up. It's not too late. It's over 4 weeks, and each week, as you can see on this slide, is a different technique that you learned today. So this week is using the stress ball. It doesn't mean you have to do it 5 minutes at one time. You might want to do it 1 minute, 5 different times a day. It's really up to you. But I am going to share all the information on how you can go and sign up. And there's actually a website that SOI made just for this. And they have all these great videos that have athletes showing you how to do what Amy and Kelly showed you today too. So you can look at those to help remind you how to do them. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. I don't know if there's anything in the chat that we should address. Jason, any questions?
I don't see any questions. I'll look through the video, see if anybody has a hand raised. I got a hand raised. I'm gonna unmute here. It's Sherry. Let me find you.
Why don't we let Lisa Fusco go first? She had her hand raised.
Lisa Kus. All right, let me give me a second here. All right.
Okay. So,
Lisa, you're unmuted.
okay. This is actually Andrew, and I'm not sure he had a real question, but did you have a question, Andrew?
Yep. I did the stress ball test, Missy.
Okay.
I will tell you.
Comment.
That's awesome.
Great. Do you think you're going to join the challenge?
Yeah.
I'll send an email back to everyone that's on this call today with all the information to register.
Yep, I'm really excited for state.
For the challenge.
For the challenge.
Awesome. All right, and Sherry, you had a question or a comment? While we're unmuting Sherry, I just want to introduce her to everyone. She is one of our Special Smiles clinical directors.
Sherry, I think you have to unmute yourself there. I'm trying to. There you go.
Okay, I got it. I just want to say I've over the last month or so, I've been on a lot of video teleconferences similar to this through Zoom, and I cannot believe how many people are on this meeting. This is absolutely amazing. You guys should all be really proud of yourself to jump on board and find out what's happening in the world. I respect each and every one of you. So keep it up. I mean, I don't know if you people know, but if you scroll down to the bottom, there's a little arrow. There's more people on here if you hit that bottom arrow. I mean, you've got like 2 pages of people here. This is amazing. Good for you guys. Keep it up.
And I'm going to do a shameless plug for Sherry right now. On Tuesday, May 5th at 2 o'clock, we're going to do another one of these SOWI Lives on oral health and how to have a healthy smile. And Sherry and Eileen are going to do that for us. So hopefully we'll send more information out next week on that, but we'd love to see you again.
Right.
Thanks, Sherry.
And we get another hand raised from Stephanie. I'm going to unmute. Go ahead, Stephanie.
That was a good video. I have anxiety and I have lots of stress with this quarantine. And I hope you guys email us more about stress and anxiety and more videos.
Great. And Stephanie, when I send you an email, which I'll send, probably in the next 10 minutes, once you sign up for the challenge that we talked about, then they'll send you a weekly email with tips too to help you out.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for joining us.
This is
all right. Anything else in the chat or any waves?
It wasn't a good show, and I thank you guys. This was new to me.
Oh, great. I hope you learned something new. Try the stretches and the stress balls. Deep breathing.
Yeah, Stephanie, thanks for being open to trying some new tricks and tips to help with the stress. Takes an openness to try some of these things. So.
All right, folks. Well, remember tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we have a sportscast Zoom. So we hope to see you there, okay? All right, we're going to sign off. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you soon.